Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chit Chat and All That with me, Amanda Prowse.
And me, Penny Dommett. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope we sound loud and clear.
Oh, we are in our first proper fancy studio session.
We are.
No longer at the kitchen table.
But in actual fact, it's very lovely because we are reclining on very luxurious chairs.
One of us is reclining. One of us is sat rather upright, clutching a Diet Coke, which is my treat.
Oh, good for you. You're looking very lovely.
Thank you. So, I have to confess, my taxi driver here on the way to the studio told me I look like Stacey Dooley. Why laughing?
I'm not laughing, really. I mean, was he colourblind?
No, I mean, yeah, Stacey Dooley, bless her, she would be mortified. She's at least 40 years younger than me and half my size, and she has red hair.
Well, she is very gorgeous.
She is very, I mean, I'll take it, hello.
But she has a very distinctive accent.
She does. I don't think he was saying I sounded like Stacey, although that would be fine. I think he was saying I look like her, but do you know what? I for me, it's a brilliant compliment, but for Stacey Dooley, I think she'd be running for the hills.
I think it could be to do with your hoop earrings.
Ah, the hoopage.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you wearing hoops before.
You've never seen me in earrings, Pen.
Really?
I never do it.
You have got pierced ears.
I have. I've got holes, but I don't use them.
I think that's more information than we need.
Story of my life. No, do you know what? I used to be, in the 80s, I loved me earrings. I would always have a little dangler. Or a pearl.
And now you've got Simeon.
I always had an earring and I loved it. It was always part of my look. Big hair and a big earring. And lots of lashes and white mask, as we've already established. And then I had an accident and one pulled. You don't want to know the details.
Oh.
Yeah. And I never wore them after that day, but they seem to have healed a bit. And I thought...
As she rests her earring on her right boob.
And I thought, well, now I'm living in London, get the hoops on.
They do. They look very lovely.
Do they?
Yeah. But what about jewellery for you? I mean, I know, obviously you wear your wedding ring.
Obviously. 'Cause I'm too fat to... I mean, I love wearing my wedding ring, but also, because I'm a chubster, it won't come off.
Well, I mean...
I don't want it to come off.
Yes.
I've never taken it off.
But I've never been a person that changes their jewellery regularly.
I have
noticed. Some people do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm really dull. I always wear the same jewellery. I take it off at night. I put it back on in the morning.
I kind of like that though, because I know it's you. Do you know what I mean? It's part of your look. If you didn't have your jewellery on, I think, what's going on here?
Who's
weird.
she?
If you turn up with a load of sparklers or, something really odd.
I can't do big earrings because I think I have a short neck.
What's that got to do with anything?
They sit on my shoulders.
It's not that short.
It is.
Bloody hell.
It really is.
Actually, now you've said it.
She's looking at me askance.
Your neck's perfect. What do you mean short neck?
Well, I think perhaps, I'm not very good with long dangly earrings. I do occasionally change my earrings if I'm going out somewhere posh.
I have seen you with a bit of a diamante dangler.
Yes.
On occasion.
Yeah. And it makes me feel very grand.
Oh, yeah, It is. I must admit, I feel differently wearing a bit of jewellery. I don't often do it. But because, for example, today my outfit is very bland, it's just old 501s and a black sweatshirt, I've put a ring on with a stone in it, a little turquoise, and my earrings. I feel it fancies me up a bit.
I wonder where they wore jewellery, didn't they? Way back Egyptians.
Oh, I mean, since time immemorial, people
Where did wedding
fashioned...
rings come from then?
Oh, that's a good question. I used to know this. I'm searching the interior crevices of my mind.
You remember everything.
I do. I read it. It's something to do with the... Oh.
And also the left hand, because in America they wear them on the right hand, don't they?
Yeah, and in Europe it's sort of interchangeable. I think it's because...
What about you going to say? That in Europe it's through the nose? Or...
No, it's something to do with the perfect circle of connection in a relationship and joining you and
the
your
circle
partner
of love.
to God. And it's an unbreakable circle, and that was why. But it was something to do with, I want to say, something as ridiculous as hand fasting. And
I
a
love
pagan
that. Have you ever been to a wedding where they do hand fasting?
No.
Have you not? I'm not joking. It is
I'm
absolutely...
laughing, not at hand fasting. I'm laughing at you've got your sincere face on. And this is what I love.
This is my ordinary face.
No, whenever there's a point you want to press or it's something you really believe in, you go, and I would just like to... It's like if you were a teacher and I'd been mucking about and you needed me to pay attention, it'd be like, right, Prowse, enough now. You need to listen. This is important. That's that face. I love it? Yeah. Carry on, Pem.
As I was saying...
Yeah.
Hand fasting is, if you don't know what it is, excuse me, if you don't know what it is basically you stand in front of the celebrant and they have different coloured braids. Braids, I said braids, and they tie one of your hands to your groom's hands. And then depending on what colour the braid is, it means a different thing.
Oh.
So white would mean eternal love, or green would mean, fertility or something like that. And then they tie them all together and plait them all up and then tie both your hands together. It sounds a bit weird.
As you're saying it. It's a pagan ritual, isn't it? So the only thing I know about hand fasting was Simeon and I, when when you first meet and and when we first met, Simeon liked to organise, quite adventurous or exciting dates. We actually did things. Nowadays, it's like,
It's a bit like Never Have I Ever.
Exactly. But this was sort of like, he used to organise things like we'd go on a little jaunt, walk with a llama.
Skydiving.
Cycle. Go for a different meal, whatever it was. Now, it's like if we want to spend time together, we just put something on Netflix. One of us falls asleep, farts. The other one's, might finish off the popcorn. That's it. But back in those days when he took me to a medieval banquet.
Did you just say what I thought you said?
I didn't want to go. He said, I've got a lovely surprise. I said, what is it? We're going to a medieval banquet. And I can remember thinking, uh-oh. Medieval banquet
was
time.
he dressed like Friar Tuck and you were dressed like Maid Marian?
Well, here's the thing. It was my birthday. And it's not relevant. It was my birthday. And I'd bought a frock, a little number from Next. I was quite happy with it, a bit silky. Wanted to wear my birthday frock. He was wearing... I think
he wanted to wear my birthday suit.
He was wearing jeans and a shirt. And when we arrived at this beautiful castle setting, flaming torches, stuffed birds, the whole lot... Everyone was in I don't want to say fancy dress, but in the theme of a medieval doodah. Like extras from a Robin Hood film. Not in a bad way.
And Kevin Costner was sitting in the corner.
I wish.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was in my normal clothes. And it was all lots of meat, and obviously I'm a vegetarian. And where am I going with this? The couple opposite us... The couple opposite us were hand fasting, and they were tied together.
Are you sure they were hand fasting?
Honestly.
Or were they just,
no, She had a beautiful sort of linen frock, with bouzouams and all the gear and aprons and things, and a natty little cap, I remember. He was full, velvet top with codpiece, stockings and shoes.
I'm trying. So you noted the codpiece.
You couldn't miss it, Pem. But anyway, everyone's dressed up. And they brought around a platter, a sharing platter, and put it one between two.
Oh, no.
You'd have hated it.
I don't
share
like
food
that.
with strangers.
No, I'm not sharing my
Simeon
food.
was having dry heaves, but luckily he was only sharing with me. The couple opposite us were sort of working as a sort of in tandem because they each had their left hands tied together. Penny is she's a wreck. They had literally one hand each and I said, oh... Are your hands tied together? Because I didn't want to say. They went, yes, we're hand fasting. We do it and it was something like 72 hours.
What? So it's like a ritual of
I don't think
discipline.
They hadn't just got married. They were, they'd been married for a while. They were a couple. Oh, thank God. They weren't just random strangers. Met in Tesco. What are you doing for the next 72 hours? Nothing. Why? Do you fancy tying your hand to mine? And going to a medieval banquet?
So Simeon took you on your first date.
Yes.
You met these very alternative people.
They invited us to their caravan. Didn't go.
I was going to say, hopefully you didn't go.
I didn't go.
That's a bit worrying.
But yeah, they had their hands tied together.
Gosh, this subject went off at a tangent.
You don't fancy it then, Pen?
Well, not to that sort of
Excuse me.
extreme.
No.
No, but in a ceremony for a wedding,
Quite
I thought it
lovely.
was quite lovely.
Yeah, is it instead of like a Christian ceremony? It was like a more
Yes,
of a, yeah, lovely.
like a celebrant,
Yeah, wonderful.
non-denominational ceremony.
That's the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
I like the idea of sort of woodland, dressed like Maid
Fairy.
Marian.
Yes.
Yeah, but not in a medieval hall.
Do you remember the wedding scene from Robin Hood, Prince of
Oh,
Thieves?
I know.
It was
She was.
so...
I can't remember her name.
I
now.
can't.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Elizabeth somebody.
Doodah.
With those
Dark.
beautiful curls.
But wasn't it just beautiful?
It was beautiful. Kevin Costner looked lovely then.
Oh, he did. What do you mean then?
Well, he wasn't in his
Yellowstone
phase then. He didn't have cowboy boots and chaps.
But if he had, it wouldn't have detracted.
No,
really,
that's
would it?
true. No,
he could have got away with it.
He definitely could.
That film, it was amazing, wasn't it? It just sort of... See, this is the thing. Back in the day, I try explaining to my kids that when something was a hit, it's because everybody watched it because we didn't have any choice.
No.
It wasn't like there was 53 channels or if something was on at the cinema, everyone went to the cinema. And, the theme tune was number... Theme tune? Is that what it's called? What do you call it? Not theme tune.
The thing they play at the beginning.
It was number one in the charts for Bryan Adams for like decades, wasn't it?
It seemed to be, yes.
And Top of the Pops, it was that you waited for it and everyone discussed it. And I remember, I know we've touched on it before, but it was like watching TV at home. Millions of you all go to school the next day, everyone all over the country talking about that thing that you'd seen.
Yeah. But there's so much choice now.
Gosh, yeah.
But, that's a good thing.
So, Pen, Adolescence, I got to it.
Oh, have you watched it all?
On your recommendation.
Yes.
I found it profoundly moving.
It is quite shocking, though, isn't it?
Very shocking. And at first I just kept thinking, well, surely this can't be a real representation. Surely this isn't what it's like. Surely. But I'm desperately worried that it's kind of touching on a lot of truth. I found it really a real eye-opener. Incredible. Again, I'm trying to talk without spoilers.
Yes.
It was amazing.
There's been a bit of a development, hasn't there? Because I think Keir Starmer has now declared that Adolescence is going to be shown or given to being readily available for every secondary school.
Yeah.
And that each child should be able to watch it at some point. Although I suspect the majority of, I don't know, would parents automatically think it was a good thing to get their kids in to see?
It's funny, isn't it? I think when you sort of look at the power of drama, we understand the power of books and we understand the power of reading, but the power of a drama like that is exactly the same with Mr. Bates and the Post Office.
True.
That had kind of that terrible case of all those miscarriages of justice and that wickedness of a lot of organisations who knew what they knew and didn't come forth and do anything about it. It took that drama to really make everyone completely aware of the true horror of it, and actually for things to be actioned, wasn't it?
Yes. And to look at it really did have power to change things.
Gosh, yeah.
I was horrified when I saw the age of the young boy.
Yeah.
Would it be more shocking if it was somebody who was 20 or less shocking?
Less shocking for me because I kind of assume that at 20 you've maybe dipped your toe into the outside world, you've seen a bit of, you've seen social media, you've had access to things that maybe you wouldn't have as a youngster. But it was kind of the fact that he was so young and that age of innocence. Where is that age of innocence if that's at the age of 14, if that's what's going on? And his awareness of the world and sort of the misogyny and this toxic masculinity and all the things that he was exposed to. And I think for me, one of the scariest things was actually the fact that as a parent, if I had a younger child, I don't know how you really protect them or prevent them. How do you stop them having access to these things that are inherently harmful? How do you do it without really, really putting your foot down and being the only parent that doesn't allow whatever it might be?
But then control can come back and haunt you as well. That's the difficulty. I mean, not having control has one outcome, but also being too controlling.
Yeah.
I'm quite frightened for parents today.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not sure I'd cope very well with the choices, the technology. You know, all we tended to be worried about was, oh, it's nearly dark. Where are they? Are they back from the park?
Yeah.
And let's be frank, we didn't really know what they were doing at the park, did we?
No, that's it. But it's very different, isn't it? Between, you know, we've sort of spoken about it before. I didn't feel like the world was a dangerous place. And maybe we're just conditioned to feel that way. But I feel for all of us, actually, the world feels slightly more fragile. Things feel slightly more volatile.
Is that because we know about it more?
Yeah, possibly.
Because of technology and social media and everything else?
Yeah.
I mean, even myself, you know me, I'm a bit of a scroller. And things come in front of me and I think, no, really? Does that happen? And I'm quite shocked. So you imagine if you were an impressionable 13-year-old.
Absolutely. Without the sort of worldliness to understand and deal with those things. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I've even, having been away from London for 6 years since I left, coming back, I now have very different behaviours than I did when I used to live here. So, for example, I could have quite comfortably walked around with my phone in my hand. Even 6 years ago, I didn't even think about it. I've always been conscious, you know, bag at the front, holding on to things, not wearing, you know, anything fancy. Not that I have anything fancy, you know, me Claire's accessories, hoops. But, you know, I'm very conscious of not being overt. But now it's a bigger step. I now do not have my phone out of my pocket.
No.
I would not, you know, I have it on silent, and those little behaviours that you sort of learn to adapt to. And I think, gosh, it's an ever-changing world. And I think you're right. I think partly it is because we have knowledge and things are coming at us. But I don't know, things feel different, do they, Pen? Is it just me?
No, I think you're right. I mean, I don't very often go out of the postcode, as you know. And even going to Bristol, not even London, even going to larger towns and cities, I am very aware of the fact that there are things that can happen. But yeah, I think we just have to teach our children to be able to cope with it.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That resilience. But I think we've always, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always been very conscious of walking home alone, getting into a car at night.
I always used to. Yeah. I literally used to walk back through Bath. We went to youth club. Did you used to go to a youth club?
No.
Oh, there's such a thing
I also
anymore.
was not an inter. Made up thing.
It's really not. Somebody messaged to say they'd looked it up. And it was a thing.
They looked it up and found an article by Penny Dommett.
But yeah, I used to love going to youth club. Quite often they were affiliated with the church, weren't they?
Yeah, often.
And they would have a youth club.
That's probably why I didn't go, Penny.
And it was great. I used to love going to youth club. I had my first kiss at a youth club.
Oh, what was her name?
His name was Alistair, but we all called him Ali because he was so cool.
How are you snogging at youth club? Weren't you supposed to be... What do you do at youth club? I didn't know.
Well, you did things like play table tennis and snooker, and they would...
Is it like a gang?
Yeah, you used to be able to buy drinks drinks in a tin can. I mean, that was quite a thing.
Hello.
Yeah, you used to be able to buy a tin can of drink.
Not a Panda Pop with a screw lid.
It was like orangeade or something. But oh my gosh, and we used to go on outings as well.
That sounds
Can't
good.
think where we went now, but we used to go on outings, and it was, I mean, crazy really. And the volunteers that ran it, what amazing people they are.
Oh yeah.
Monty goes to Beavers now.
The most marvellous Monty.
The most marvellous Monty goes to Beavers.
Yes.
And as you know, Beavers, then it's Cubs, then it's Scouts. Or you can go to Brownies, but boys aren't allowed to go to Brownies.
Are they not?
No. Interesting.
But the girls can go to Beavers.
That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to one of my lovely clients this week, and she is a Brownie leader. What do you call them? Arcala?
Brownies are called...
Brown owls.
Brown owl, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, why are boys not allowed to go to Brownies, but girls can go to Scouts and Cubs and Beavers?
It's a good point, Pam.
And she said, apparently it was decided that they were going to keep Brownies as girls only because a lot of schools now are co-educational. A lot of places feel that it has to be accessible for both boys and girls. And that girls sometimes just need space to be with girls. And so they decided to keep it as a girl-only organisation.
I kind of like that. I mean, I think a protected space in certain situations
Yes,
can be really good.
to be able to, and they felt girls would talk more.
I just know I was so vulnerable and so sort of awkward as a young girl, and if a boy had been there, that would have doubled my awkwardness, and I would have probably clammed up a bit.
But Monty was asking me why he couldn't be a brownie.
Yeah, quite
So
right.
now I know, I can tell him.
Yes, yeah.
Girls need their space sometimes.
I think boys do too, but I think there's probably more spaces for young boys. Is that right? Would you think?
Yeah, well, mind you, I suppose girls can go to Scouts now. But yeah, but it was quite interesting. It was quite an interesting thing. He does all sorts of things at Beavers.
I know Arlo went to Beavers, and it seemed that every week he was making a fire. Which, trust me, he wasn't moaning about. It was marvellous. It was
Yes.
like the best thing ever.
Oh, they made a hedgehog house recently.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, and a rocket, one of those rockets, out of a bicarbonate of soda and Coca-Cola.
I'd
We thought that
love
was
to do
amazing.
that. Can
Yeah.
you show me how to do that?
Yeah, probably.
I would absolutely love that.
And with a water pump, where they stamp on a bag and it shoots the rocket in the air.
I tell you what, this every day is school day, Pen.
Yeah. Well, mind you, those volunteers are amazing.
They are. Anyone, isn't it, who does that?
Friday evening, would you want to, having just had a bad week at work, oh yes, I'm going to volunteer and look after 20 little beavers who are all wanting to make a rocket.
Oh, 20 little beavers. Thing is, I kind of had this theory, and the less I do, the less I want to do, the less I feel like I can do. And the opposite is true. The more I do, the more energised I am, the more I think, actually, I can do this. And I find, particularly, we were talking earlier, actually, about exercise. So I have never been a great exerciser, no surprise. But I have, in the last year, 18 months, would you say? I've been walking more and doing my bands and my kettlebells and my weights and things. And the more I do, the more I want to do, the more energy I have, the more I feel able to do more. So maybe that's that old analogy, isn't it? If you want something doing, ask a busy person.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true for me. It's the thought of exercise that is awful. I mean, it's the thought of, oh, can I be bothered to get changed? Can I be bothered to get on the bike? Can I be bothered to do this?
Are you still Pelotoning?
I am, and
You
is
look
becoming
fantastic. You look
a
great.
little bit, not obsessive, but I haven't done. I have to do it every other day.
I think obsessive.
Oh yeah, okay.
Your legs are looking fabulous,
Thank you.
though.
But the point is in the morning, I'm not particularly a morning person, and I think, oh, can I be bothered? So I make sure I get straight up, put my leggings on, so I've got no excuse. And if I do bother to do it in the morning, you do feel more energised for the rest of the day.
Yeah. And also you've done that thing you were dreading, I suppose.
Yeah, it's done,
Yeah.
done, and it's sorted.
Yeah.
It's very clever though. I mean, talk about marketing.
I don't really understand it.
Well, it's very, very clever because you've got different instructors that you grow to like particular instructors who are taking the classes. And there's things like meditation. There's one particular girl who's fabulous at meditation. So
While are you cycling?
No, so I might do 20 minutes on the bike
Oh, I see.
with a particular...
I thought
no, I'm not
How does
meditating.
that work? Hang on a minute. So from the waist down, I'm cycling. From the chest up, I am in meditation zone.
No. So I'll do 20 minutes on the bike with one particular instructor, and she's really enthusiastic and interesting, and it just I like the way she does it. It's great. Come off the bike and then change to Pilates or yoga or stretching, and
So hang
might
on a
do 10
minute.
minutes.
Sorry, I'm feeling like a dum-dum. So I thought it was just riding bikes.
No, not at all. There's lots of different classes. So there's a Peloton for walking, Peloton for rowing. So you can have different, my bike has got a computer tablet attached and it all works through the tablet.
That's
But
very
then on my
clever.
phone, I've also got Peloton. So I'll do the cycling on the bike and it's all there and I've got the class in front of me. And then I'll go through into the other room and do 20 minutes of Pilates. And it's on my phone and she's there and we're doing Pilates together. But for me, it's great because I don't want to get in the car and get dressed up and be out in the dark and all of that. It makes me even more reclusive than I am.
Have you liked
unfortunately.
the change in the clocks?
I'm one of those awful people that spends the entire next 3 months going, well, of course it's not 6 o'clock, it's only 5 o'clock. It's not really 6 o'clock at all. And it means I get an extra hour of daylight.
Well, I shot myself in the foot completely because on Monday night we'd had a bit of a day of it and I was absolutely exhausted, and it was 7:15, and I said, you know what? I know it's only 7:15, but I'm going to bed. Anyway, really, it's 8:15. And Simon went, no, really,
the other way
it's
round.
6:15. I was like, oh. Still went to bed though.
Well, sometimes you just have to.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, sleep for me feels like it's just the biggest reward I can have, more than anything. Anything over chocolate, any fancy anything, give me an hour of sleep. That was all I need to motivate me.
But then you're lucky because you can.
I do have that job where I can, stop.
But you can sleep.
Oh,
I mean, that to me, I cannot imagine how awful it must be if you can't sleep.
Can you nap?
Oh yes, I'm really good at napping.
Yeah.
Because I just put Stephen Fry on.
Poor Stephen Fry. We should say that
Only
you do
because,
it with love.
Oh yes. Oh, he's amazing. And there are other books of his that I listen to, and they're fascinating, and I listen to every single word. But the thing about the Sherlock Holmes stories...
Sherlock what?
Holmes. We've had this conversation before.
Oh, Penny.
It's Holmes.
Holmes.
Why is it's not Holmes?
Sherlock
it's got
Holmes.
It's got an L in it.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes. Everyone in the world
Holmes.
says Holmes. Holmes. It's one of your words.
Yes, but they're short stories, relatively, and I can honestly say 72 hours worth on Audible of Sherlock Holmes.
That couple
stories.
who were hand fasting could have listened to the whole thing.
72 hours worth, and I don't think I've actually heard an entire story ever. So I've nearly finished the 72 hours now.
You're about
so I'm going to go back to the beginning,
Yes.
and I might actually get the ends of some of these cases.
Can't you fast forward the beginning of each one and get the end that you've missed?
I could, but then, hey, I'm using it to go to sleep.
Exactly, and you'll be able to do it for the next 10 years, probably.
Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it?
It would be really good, darling.
But it's love. It literally just, I don't even get 10 minutes in, and I'm out like a light.
Do you think it's partly because you're expecting to, and so you've conditioned yourself?
Oh, Pavlov. I'm his dog.
Hello, Pavlov.
Yes.
We should say, Penny, today we've never had 2 microphones before.
I can't wait to listen back.
We've got the luxury of 2 microphones. And we should also say that we're very aware that our sound quality has sometimes been a little bit sketchy. Dog snorting.
So
chickens,
we're going to
pigs.
remedy it.
We are going to remedy it. We are taking steps to re-strategize, rebrand, re-energize and rethink the way that we record and do our chit-chat and all that, which we love.
We do love it. I mean, I think both of us have got so much out of it, but let's not be selfish.
Yeah.
Let's hope that people actually do enjoy listening to us.
Oh, absolutely.
And with better quality sound, hopefully it'll make it a better listening experience.
Completely. So let us know if you've heard the difference. Let us know if you like the difference. Let us know if it makes a difference or if you even care.
Yes, it'd be nice to hear that people care.
Yeah, we hope so. But, it'd be good, won't it? But, we're going to come back to you with, a few little announcements of things, the way things might change over the next couple of months. But fear not, we are not going anywhere. We are just going to keep going, and we love what we do, don't we, Pen?
We really do. But that's very selfish, because you and I get so much out. I mean,
do you know what? If we didn't love it, but Pen, if we didn't love it, then there'd be no point doing it.
No, that's very true.
And it is for us. And if anyone wants to listen and join the gang on, that's absolutely wonderful. That's just bonus for us. But we just like chatting, don't we, really?
I'd quite like it if we could have a bonus session where we answer all the things that we pose as questions, because there's so many things funny. I don't know.
No, that would be... It'd be a very long
so
session.
Many things.
Going through everything we don't know. It'd be a very long one. Can you imagine all the medical questions we've got?
Lots of those.
Lots.
And geography.
Oh, don't. Geography. I'm so geographically challenged. It's embarrassing. Anyway, my love, we have, believe it or not, come to the end of another lovely episode. So from me, Stacey Dooley.
And me, Sian Gibson.
You do look like Sian Gibson. Have you ever been in a room with her?
No, I'd love to meet her.
Would you?
We could stand by each other and people could see if they could tell which one's which.
Yes, I think it would be very tricky. Me and Stacey Dooley, not quite so hard. But I do love
Put
her.
a red wig on.
Did you watch? Sorry, I'm digressing. We should be saying goodbye. Did you watch the recent Stacey Dooley documentary? She does some absolute crackers. She's brilliant. She did a recent one called Rape on Trial. Did you see it, Pen?
No.
I would recommend everyone to watch it. Completely horrifying, eye-opening, brilliant investigative journalism. It affected her. It affected me. I would just say to everyone, watch it. Yeah, it's BBC iPlayer, but it's phenomenal.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, on that note, my love, it's been so lovely. And you can, of course, listen to all previous episodes from wherever you get your listening.